Good morning, DGiT fam. Adam Dowd here, starting off the week, but closing out the month with another daily dose of all the tech news you need to know. And what a busy month it was, and spoiler alert, the DGiT Monthly will take a look at why that was. But for now, it is September 30th, 2019, and this is your DGiT Daily. Wireless charging is one of those concepts that just feels like using the future, and it was one of the coolest things introduced by the original Palm Pre over 10 years ago. Even then, there were some caveats. I don't remember exactly what the deal was, and frankly I don't care enough to look it up, but you had to purchase a different back for the original Palm Pre in order to wirelessly charge. Plus, you had to buy a touchstone, which was Palm's proprietary charging dock. Plus, Palm did something no other phone has done since. Palm embedded magnets and slips of metal into its touchstone chargers and phone backs themselves to help align the coils. No one does that, and it still boggles my mind to this day. Back then, Qi charging didn't really exist, not for phones anyway, and Palm didn't use it. As of late 2017, there were two wireless charging standards, Qi and PMA. However, in 2018, PowerMat signed on with Qi, basically giving up the fight. The final straw? The iPhone adopted Qi as the standard. For years, proponents of a technology have said that it's easier to set down a phone on a mat to charge it than it is to fumble with cables. Opposition has pointed out to how slow wireless charging was compared to wired charging, and this was back in the middle of a decade when even wired charging wasn't all that fast. These days, it's crazy how fast wired charging is, but guess what? Wireless is making a comeback. Sorry, LL Cool J, whatever you want to label it, it's a comeback. But that's a good thing, because now most major flagships include wireless charging, and you don't even have to buy a special backplate for it. Apple, Samsung, Google, Huawei, and more all offer wireless charging. IKEA has a line of furniture dedicated to wireless charging. Starbucks has wireless chargers built into their tables. But now we're seeing wireless charging that isn't slow, potentially silencing naysayers. Xiaomi introduced wireless charging at 20 watts back in February. Huawei said hold my beer and upped it to 27 watts. Xiaomi and Oppo are kicking it up again to 30 watts. Wireless charging that can fully charge your phone in 69 minutes. It seems we're getting closer and closer to those portless phones that OEMs seem to want to make, but that isn't really the point. The point goes all the way back to my opening statements. Wireless charging is one of those things that feels like using the future. Today, we set our phones down on pads. Tomorrow, who knows, maybe we'll walk into a room and have our phones just start charging. From there, wireless charging could become as ubiquitous as Wi-Fi signals. It'll take a long time to get there for sure, but we will get there, and I, for one, can't wait. But I have to wait because we're not there yet, so I'm going to pass the time in the Roundup! Buying a OnePlus phone used to be simple. There was really only one option. Last year you had the OnePlus 6 in the spring and the OnePlus 6T in the fall. Now you've got variants, the OnePlus 7, the OnePlus 7 Pro, the OnePlus 7 5G, the OnePlus 5T, and the upcoming OnePlus 7T Pro, though that isn't official yet. Different phones are available in different markets, and just what the heck, OnePlus? C. Scott Brown at Android Authority breaks it all down for you and what it means for the future. You may have heard about this checkmate iPhone exploit over the weekend, and you may be wondering, am I vulnerable? The short answer is, probably not. The checkmate exploit has a few things going against it. First, it has to be connected to a computer in order to run. Second, a reboot of the phone breaks anything done to it. And third, any iPhone greater than the iPhone 5C has a secure chip in it that the exploit doesn't work on, so it'll keep your passcode and your data safe. There's a lot more to this story, and the newsletter has links to what this exploit is and why it's not a big deal, so go ahead and give that a look. Elon Musk has a prototype Starship, and he unveiled his plans to take tourists for trips around the moon. In 2020, Starship will carry billionaire Japanese entrepreneur whose name is mispronounced Yusaku Meizuwa and a handful of artists on a trip around the moon. Hey Elon, need a podcaster to go with on that trip? Anyway, Elon envisions a future where Starship will carry up to 100 tourists on trips around the moon. Kind of like a lunar Greyhound bus, and trust me, you will not want to sit in economy class seats for that trip to the moon. #legroom. Of course, Elon wants to eventually make it to Mars and start colonizing the red planet so that humanity has a backup plan once we're done screwing this planet up. And speaking of space, scientists have been looking for a 9th planet in our solar system for a long time, pretty much ever since it killed off Pluto. This planet would have about 10 times the mass of Earth, and the reason they're looking for it is because they've detected the effects of a gravitational pull in the furthest reaches of our solar system that a planet would explain. That far out, not much light from the sun would reflect off the planet, making it difficult to detect, but there is another potential explanation: a black hole. Now, before you go all Star Trek on this, relax. Nothing is coming to eat us. Probably. But this black hole would be about the size of a bowling ball and would actually be a remnant from the dawn of the universe created seconds after the Big Bang. This is exciting for a number of reasons, not the least of which is, if this actually turns out to be a black hole, this is a phenomenon that we could actually study, because the outside of our solar system is reachable, and we could send instruments there to see what's up. It would change the face of astrophysics by a lot. So, here's hoping it's a black hole, and yes, that did feel really strange to say. Speaking of interesting ways to die, if you need a really cool way to die while camping, Smithfly has the thing for you, an inflatable tent that allows you to float down the river while you float off to dreamland. Of course, the downsides of this include waking up with no idea where you are, or waking up in a nylon tomb with water flowing in on all sides, or as DoorDash for bears. There's a lot of downsides, but you do get to pay $1,500 for the privilege, so at least you'll die broke. And finally, Star Wars and Star Trek fans go after one another a lot, which is why Stargate fans, like yours truly, will finally end up ruling the world one day. Getting us one step closer to that is a tabletop game. Well, it actually doesn't get us closer to ruling the world, but stay with me. Wyvern Gaming is developing a new Stargate tabletop role-playing game that it revealed over the summer, and now they're recruiting playtesters to play the game by its rules and give critical feedback on how it goes. Honestly, I'd be stoked to give this a try, but I'm not sure I'd A, have the time, or B, find someone who wanted to play with me. Stargate fans are connoisseurs of science fiction. Anyone can say, "May the Force be with you," or "Make it so," but finding someone who can truly understand the meaning of "indeed" is truly special. So that's going to do it for today's DGiT Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on DGiT.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.